used to sew. I actually still have a sewing machine, but it's super broken, so I can't really use it. I have made staples of fashion, like this, and I'm actually pretty proud of this wallet I made for my mom. I learned how to sew in 5th grade when I took sewing lessons with my friends. You've seen these friends before. We were kind of like a trio in 5th grade. We also caused chaos in our sewing class. Okay, mostly her. Let's just say she made granny lessons interesting for everyone. I don't remember the story as well as the stories coming up, but I know I wrote in my diary that this friend was known for getting the Skittle pox at sewing class. We would always go to this friend's house before sewing lessons, and she had a pack of Skittles, so my friend licked them all and attached them to her face. There was one specific teacher at the sewing class that my friend wanted to mess with, so I'm pretty sure she went around the sewing class following this teacher, stating that she had the Skittle pox. Her Skittles were even falling off her face, leaving stains and stuff. And unfortunately, this is not the only time I could think of when this friend put candy all over her face. There was this one little girl in sewing class that really stood out. I don't know who she was or why she was there, but she was definitely interesting. When she and my friend first met, they were enemies, but eventually they became friends. So for context, my friend had short hair because she went to the hairdresser and told the hairdresser that she wanted her hair boy short. So that's what she got. She didn't like it and wore a beanie forever until she was finally confident enough to wear her hair like a regular person. I promise that's important. But anyway, these two emojis hated each other because I think my friend was taking some fabric away from the little girl on the first day of sewing class, and the little girl freaked out and ran to one of the teachers. The bald girl is stealing stuff from me! Bald? But you know, it all turned out in the end, so... I think I've told you before that this friend was really into pranks. I hated pranks. All of her pranks seemed to be targeted at me because I was gullible, and it always made me feel awful. So I grew used to the fact that I could never really trust this friend. So one day, when she showed up to school on crutches, me and my other friend did not believe her at all. This doesn't relate much to sewing. It more relates to the next story, but she did bring the crutches to sewing class. I still don't know if she was lying or not. I think she was because she only had the crutches for like 2 weeks. It doesn't really matter if my friend was lying or not with the crutches, because there was a time me and my other friend helped her lie at sewing class about an injury. This is a serger. It does this stuff inside of your clothes. And we learn in sewing class that sergers are terrifying. So me and my friends decided that we would try to prank everyone at sewing class by saying that my friend's brothers tried to serge her arm off. My friend made an entire comic strip detailing how it happened. They tried to serge her arm off in her sleep, but she woke up before they could make too deep of a wound. Then me and my friend colored black and red marker on my other friend's arm and wrapped it up in a bandage. When we went to sewing class, no one believed her injury because of how she had previously showed up with crutches, and everyone was pretty sure she wasn't injured. We went the entire class with everyone doubting her and thinking her story was crazy. Who would ever think that? And then, at the very end of the class, she quickly unwrapped her bandages, showed everyone her red marker wound super quickly, and everyone was in shock. I think we actually convinced a few people. I don't know how, but we were a little group of geniuses. Everyone's elementary school has to have experienced at least 1 or 2 child marriages. There was one marriage in 1st grade that everyone got super involved in. We bought ring pops, somebody brought Oreos before the recess age shut it down. My friend was involved in one of those marriages. Hers wasn't shut down, but her marriage all ended when she met a new love at sewing class. Manny the mannequin. I'm sorry, kid with sunglasses. I'm afraid I can't be with you anymore.
Oh, what a tragedy.
I know. I've met a new love. Here's your divorce papers.
No!
Lunch that day was very interesting. But after I gave them the divorce papers to sign, my friend was free to marry the mannequin and create their own little mannequin family. There was lore. The little girl at sewing class was their daughter.